G'day, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Cool Dad Collective podcast, the podcast that is for dads by dad, talking everything there is to talk about fatherhood. And I'm joined today by a very, very special guest. I did an interview last year with Paul Fields around Red Nose Day and stuff like that. And I love Red Nose. I love everything they do. And I was lucky enough to be hit up again with a special guest. And I came across Matt Mcconnell. And Matt, your story is incredible, as gut-wrenching as it is. I think the amazing thing that you've done, and we'll obviously get into this and I'll let you talk more about it, but the amazing thing that you've done is you've turned an extremely, I guess, emotionally excruciating situation into something that is, I think everyone should know about this. And I think it is so important for dads who are going through, obviously, what you went through. But, just to start off before we sort of get into it, obviously, I'm going to say dad of three.
Correct.
Family of five, dad of three, and we'll get into that. I'll pass over to you to talk about obviously your kids and one very special one.
Yeah, lovely. Well, thank you very much for the introduction. It's always an honour to be able to share my story and that of my family and my children, or our children. As you said, I'm a dad of three. I've got a daughter who is now 5. So she started school this year, which is a bundle of fun.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm almost there, man. So I'm just counting down the days. God.
It's incredible the learning that's happening. We're 2 terms in. We're just the end of the middle school holidays now.
Yeah,
and the learning she's done this year, like sitting down reading books now, is just phenomenal.
It's awesome.
Her attitude's kind of catching, going increasing as well. But it's
all part of. To ask about that, eh?
Yeah, it's all just part of growing up, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh man, you can't stop it, eh? That's it.
I've also got a 2-year-old boy called Noah.
Yeah.
He's mad. He's got no fear. He's such a. He's exactly what our family needed. You'll find out why in a minute. He's an incredible little boy. He's always happy. He smiles. He's a lot of fun. And he's the little brother to our middle child called Wren. Wren passed away when she was 8 days old, just on 3 and a bit years ago. And I guess Wren is the reason that I'm here today. Wren's the reason that we're talking. If it wasn't for Wren, I'd probably be a father of 2, living a normal, I guess we say normal, living what everyone perceives as a normal life, in a nice house and happily married with 2 kids type of setup. That's what I think life would have looked like had our daughter not passed away when she was 8 days old. If you want me to touch on Wren a little bit and share a bit of Wren's story, I'd love to.
Mate, I'd love for you to go into it. And I literally read the thing. The first time I read it, I cried, and then I read it again just then, and was fighting it back again as well, man. And yeah, I think I want to let you talk for this one, and then obviously once we go through the story, we can sort of break it down a little bit as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll start with Edie. We've got one daughter, gets to that 2 years, and people start asking, when are you having another kid? Because that's just the normal rude thing to say that people, say. They kind of pry into your private life.
Yeah, we've all been guilty of it, but I think now it's just you just know not to just
exactly
just leave it now.
Just let people go.
Yeah.
So we were quite lucky. We fell pregnant virtually first go with Wren. It took us a little bit longer with Edie. We needed some assistance, not IVF, but we needed some assistance. But then with Wren, we fell pregnant straight away, and we were stoked. We were 3/4 of the way through building our family home, pregnant. All was looking really good. Fast forward it it was Good Friday in April 2022, so just over 3 years ago. My wife was 38 weeks pregnant, and she had a pain in her abdomen.
Yeah,
she's a midwife. So
I was just about to say your partner's a midwife too, isn't she?
Correct. Yeah. So we live in a regional area in Western Victoria. So we hightailed it up to the hospital. It was about midday. Easy, went in for, put the CTGs on, have a listen. And our daughter at the time, her heart rate was a bit tacky. So I think my wife was being monitored for 3 or 4 hours until they got a reading that would have been okay.
Yeah.
It was decided that being 38 weeks, there was no need to, if we wanted to, they could start an induction. So we jumped at it and said, "Yep, that's fine. Let's just get this baby here safely." And once she's out, then we can look after her, type of thing, if there is anything wrong. Induction started probably about 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, and at 11:30 it had progressed pretty quickly. And my wife had a cord prolapse, which is when the umbilical cord comes out before the baby, and it's an obstetric emergency. And when that happens, baby's got to be delivered via C-section immediately, because the moment the cord comes out, the baby's deprived of its blood supply and oxygen. So we were rushed off to theatre really quickly. In our birth class beforehand, we remember having this talk about an emergency Caesar.
Yeah.
And one of the things the girls said was, "It's an emergency. We can get babies out in minutes." So I thought, "Yep, beauty. We're on our way to the theatre here. We'll get this baby out straight away and it'll all be good." But we got to the theatre at 11:30 on a Good Friday and it was shut. So all the lights are off.
Man.
There's theatres need to get called in.
Yeah.
So they are in the hospital. The theatre team is in the hospital. So a code's called. But in the meantime, we're sitting there in a hallway. Time's ticking. We needed our baby to be born. An anaesthetist needed to be called in as well. And unfortunately, there was a breakdown in communication in the hospital that led to, I guess, an extended time before all the required parties were.
And your wife is literally like giving birth whilst
absolutely.
waiting. That is
we're very close. We're at the pointy end, and all we could do was sit in we just had to sit there and wait. So as you can imagine, it's pretty tense. And being the partner, I really couldn't do anything. I was hopeless.
It is the most helpless. Like it is the most help. No matter what, it's just so it's so helpless.
I guess in a lot of childbirth, we can give a little back massage, or we can help in little ways. But when it's an emergency, I'm not trained. I'm literally nothing. I'm a hindrance. So my wife got wheeled into theatre, and I sat out in the hallway because I completely understand. I wouldn't want to be in theatre when this was happening. It is a serious emergency. So I sat in the hallway on my own, just waiting for news about what had happened. And time just kept on ticking and ticking and ticking. About 12:30. So we went in at about 11:30. About 12:30, I was told that we had a girl.
Yeah.
I was told that she was alive. I've since found out that I guess she was born without a strong enough heartbeat and not breathing. So she was resuscitated and she was ventilated straight away. Silly me, I guess, was told that we've got a girl and she's alive. And I took that as, that's awesome. We'll probably go home soon, because your mind doesn't think. Your mind doesn't think the worst, because you haven't, unless you've been through something like that, your mind doesn't think that that's even an option of what might happen. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning then, where my wife was back down out of recovery in the little special care nursery, when we were told by the head paediatrician that it was unlikely our daughter would survive, and that if we wanted to, we could probably palliate in Warrnambool. So we're talking 3 hours after our daughter was born. We were told that the damage done to her brain would probably be the end, and that she would die. Which, it's, to this day, I still can't fathom that happening, and I still don't believe that it happened to me. It's a really hard one. I was chatting to someone about it today, and I'm like, you still don't believe that it's happened and you've lived through it.
Man. It's,
and you can't imagine anyone else you never want anyone else to imagine what it's like either, because it's just too hard to try and
Yeah,
fathom.
and to explain it too is just I think, like I said, I did the podcast with Paul, and it's I'm someone who I can usually find words in most situations, but whenever I hear these stories, I physically don't have words. Like I can't, you can't articulate it, and yeah, man, it's like the only and I think when you have kids, and you obviously with your first as well, that's the only sort of thing you can sort of relate it to, and it's still just is so far off the mark as well, you know.
Yeah, it's something I'd never ask anyone to walk. I'd never want anyone to walk in the shoes of someone who's lost, a child.
Mm,
You'd never kind of wish that upon anyone,
no.
because it is like we'll all navigate grief in our lifetime, um, and you'd never wish anyone else your grief upon anyone else.
Yeah.
And that's not just for child loss, that's for everything as well. Like, we all do navigate something, and whatever we're going through, you never wish it on anyone else.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I guess it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'd called my mum in, and my wife's mum in, and we were lucky enough to be given an option by the PEDS team here at our local hospital to send our daughter to Melbourne.
Yep.
They actively cooled her, which means I guess once she was born, they never warmed her up. They never put clothes on her. They kept her cool, and
Yeah.
that cooling continued. The Royal Children's Hospital said that, yep, we'll take your daughter.
Yeah.
So they sent a specialist team from Melbourne to our town, and it was about 6 o'clock in the morning. She was flown. So she's 6 hours old. She was bundled up and put into a little carrier, and she was sent to Melbourne.
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning, we're sitting there. My wife's coming out of her, she had a general anaesthetic, so she's and major abdominal surgery.
I was just
as
about to
well,
say, and she's just had a C-section as well,
yeah,
man.
yeah. So literally that, and our baby's gone.
Yeah.
So
Oh
then we're
man.
just, you can imagine the adrenaline's just rushing through the body. We're going, what the fuck is going on?
Oh,
Like,
dude.
what have we been through?
Yeah.
It's now Easter Saturday. Our daughter's at I think she was at I think it was at my sister and brother-in-law's place. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it was.
Yeah.
I think she went there for the night. To be honest, I can't remember anymore. It was
I
either
was just
my
about to say,
in-laws or,
like, it's literally it's a good example of how the night went, given the fact that you didn't know where she
yeah,
was.
yeah. She was at one of the in-laws, like
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
my sister's sister or
yeah, yeah.
mother and father-in-law. But we couldn't. I guess we couldn't give time to our daughter because we had to our eldest, because then all our energy had to go towards Wren. Um,
Absolutely, man.
so it was probably about midday. My dad drove me down to Melbourne.
Yeah,
So I got to the Royal Children's at maybe around 5 o'clock that night, and it
yeah,
was
yeah,
back into COVID. I was on my own,
yeah.
and it was really hard walking into a hospital. That scared me, knowing that
Oh,
my daughter was in there. I was on my own,
and it's
and
massive compared to probably where you were as
yeah,
well.
it's huge. Like, we've got
Yeah,
two beds or four beds in the little special care
yeah.
nursery here compared to
And
this.
how long was the drive from where you are to Melbourne?
So we're about 3 hours.
Oh man,
So
so
3 hour drive.
I could only imagine that drive, the head
Yeah.
noise on that drive, man.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get to the front counter, and COVID, they're like, "Oh, here's your COVID test."
And
So I'm
you're just
like,
like, oh,
"Oh,
here we
Jesus."
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here I've got to go back out the front, do a COVID test. And if it come up positive, that was me done. I wasn't letting in.
Yeah.
So I did it as quick as possible, and it come back good.
Yeah.
I went up the top, and I remember saying, "Oh, I'm talking to another reception lady at the entrance," and I couldn't get words out
Yeah.
because I wanted to say, my daughter's here and I'm here to see her, but I didn't know what to say. I was too scared, and so I broke down. I left, and then I had to come back again and have another
Have
crack
another
and
go.
have another go. And I got in, and she was in a handover. It was about 6 o'clock at night, and there I was sitting next to her bed. She was all hooked up to the monitors, and she had her brains monitoring on. She had a ventilator in this little room in a little cot.
Mm.
just with the nappy on, sitting down, and they explained what was happening, what they were going to do. And then I relayed that information to my wife, who was still in Warrnambool at the time. She was lucky enough, though, to get an ambulance down to the women's, which is next door. So they, I guess, transferred her from our town to Melbourne so she could be close.
Yeah, that's great that they did that.
Which was fantastic.
Yeah,
so
amazing.
we could be together or close enough. So I virtually explained, what's happening is her condition hadn't got any worse. She was stable.
Yeah.
They were just, the idea of sending to Melbourne is to cool. So they cool the body for 72 hours.
Yeah.
To preserve the brain as much as possible. I think to prevent further injury, hypoxic injury. And then after 72 hours, they get they're warmed up again, back to the normal, 36, 37 degrees over 24 hours. And then we go off to to have an MRI scan.
Yeah.
So for 3 days, I'd pick up my wife from hospital. We'd come sit by a bedside. We'd go downstairs. We'd eat Japanese because that's what's in the hospital. Our friends were amazing. And a tip for people, if you got mates who are going into hospital, send them an Uber Eats or a menu log or a voucher.
Oh, that is, it's so, I say that to people too, when, just to be nice during pregnancy and all that sort of stuff, man, you can just order to their house or their location. And it's a game changer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we had mates do that. We had a couple of vouchers come in, so we could, if we didn't feel like eating the same food, we'd just order something in.
Yeah.
Which was really good to change it up a little bit. And the care, I guess the care that she got in the hospital was just phenomenal as well.
There
was an old lady there. She's an old English lady. It was like having a mum in there with us. And she'd work night shifts. As soon as my wife met her and I met her, we're like, oh, this lady's so cool.
Oh, so amazing, man.
So we're faced with their daughter dying, and we're talking about what type of life that we'd like to have with her. But in the back of our mind, we were able to leave the room as well and get some sleep at night, because we knew that she's been looked after so well in the hospital.
Those people are incredible, man. Like those hospital, like the nurses in there, and oh mate, they are so selfless. It's insane.
It is. It's hard when you leave a hospital and you know that the amazing things that they've done for you and your family, and we haven't been able to see these people again, and they mean so much to us. There's a lot of people in this story that we haven't met again. Yeah, that they do know that we appreciate what they've done. For us. But it is hard not being able to see some of these people again. That have meant so much to our family,
and they've made such a big impact on you, and they probably always will.
Yeah. Well, some of the people who we met are some of the only people that ever met our daughter.
Yeah. Exactly right. Yeah.
We can count on our hands and toes the number of people that have met her. Yeah. And these people looked after her for half her life.
Yeah.
So we had it was the Wednesday she went for her MRI. So that was scary because they had to change the ventilation and move her and into a special thing, and it was hard for us to see her just get wheeled off because we knew that she was going to it was going to tell us if we'd be able to take her home or if we wouldn't. It's really scary knowing that the findings of this test are going to decide your daughter's life. In the background, we're doing everything we can for our daughter. We're reading the books and singing songs and trying to enjoy the time with her that we've had. Up until then, we still hadn't cuddled her. We still hadn't been able to hold her, which is really hard, and even harder for my wife, who's
absolutely
carried her for 38 weeks. Not to be able to hold her, hold a baby is really hard. And it's really hard to watch too. The pain, you want to protect and hold and not being able to. It is.
I think seeing your wife as well, man. Like I think you almost suffer twice. Yeah,
it is. It's hard because I just had to push her in the hospital in a wheelchair. So she's in a wheelchair, but she's trying to she's just pushing through that pain
Yeah.
because she had to.
Yeah. Oh man.
There's no choice.
Dude, yeah, because my partner had two C-sections, so and I don't think people understand how intense the recovery is
Yep.
until you've been there. So like, just in the back of my head, knowing what my partner Kia was like on those first sort of 2-3 days, and knowing what your wife was going through it honestly blows my mind, man.
Yeah. So on the Thursday, my family, Maddie's family, and our daughter had come down. So we got a phone call that day, and we finally got to, we went down and seen our daughter, Edie, seen our parents. And in the afternoon, I'd gone out into the courtyard to meet them. And there's a little park, about 500 meters down the road I remember it vividly. I was there and we were having like a really nice afternoon.
Yeah.
Catching up. I got a phone call from Maddie saying, "Hey, can you come back up? They want to have a meeting with us." So I walked into the room, and the head of the ward sat us down and virtually just said, "It's catastrophic, the damage to your daughter's brain, and that once we remove the ventilation, she will probably pass away without taking a breath." And that's really hard to take.
Yeah.
There's no words to describe the feelings that you feel. And there was nothing we could do as parents that could change anything. We'd hoped we'd be able to take our daughter home. Realistically, we knew that if we did get to take her home, she would have had a quite a severe cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
So in the lead up to being told that her brain damage was catastrophic, we thought we were going to have to make a decision. How severe and what we want from our daughter. And that was really hard to discuss, knowing that she might make it or she might not. Then when we're told that the brain damage was catastrophic, that took the choice out of our hands. And our mindset shifted then to making as many memories as we could. I remember I listened to your episode today when you spoke to Paul, and his son Luke, wasn't it?
Yeah, Luke. Yep.
Yeah, and I remember you spoke about Paul spoke about his dad telling him that Bernadette had passed away, and the groaning and the wailing of being told.
Yeah.
So that was our room when we'd been told. And the doctor, after they'd told us, we'd called our parents up. So they were out in the waiting room.
Yeah.
And we could hear the noise that our parents had made, were making. They'd been told a couple of minutes after us that their granddaughter was going to pass away. And so our mums had met Wren, but our dads hadn't. So they'd been told that their granddaughter's about to pass away before they'd had a chance to meet her, which is just, it's really hard. And to make it even worse, our daughter Edie was in the room with them as well. So she's 2.5 at the time. And I heard, I don't want to refer to Paul and Luke all the time, but I remember Luke saying, that's the day he learned to grow up. And
literally,
I couldn't imagine that. I know that our daughter Edie will remember things, and I do. She does remember a lot of things from that time as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
She was 2.5.
Yeah.
We can touch on Edie later, but she's a really big advocate for her sister, and
That's amazing.
100% she remembers her and a lot about her. But so we've gone from the worst news that you could be told, and then Edie got to meet her sister for the first time. So 5 minutes after that, we brought Edie up to the room.
Yeah.
And she didn't care that she had ventilator in, and she didn't care about the buzzing and the beeps. She just saw her baby sister, and that's all she saw. So we went from crying to laughter within minutes. It was
like
incredible.
The definition of bittersweet, man.
Yeah, she just saw her baby sister, and she just loved her.
That's incredible.
Which was phenomenal. And then our parents come into the room, and although we were just heartbroken, you couldn't help but laugh and smile because you've seen how much love. There was so much love in the room at the same time.
Yeah.
So, it was phenomenal. Edie held it together for us. She held us together.
They're so strong, man. I don't think people realize how strong they are in
Yeah,
those situations, man. Like
absolutely.
you get so surprised by
Yeah,
just from such a young age how even just resilient, like
yep,
hearing something like that, and you can almost see in the way they act, you're like, wow, like this kid is just something else,
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
it was really special for Edie too. She'd been looking forward to a baby sister for
Yeah.
9 months. She knew exactly who she was, and um, but it was really special that she could look past the machines, and she understood that she was sick, but not. She didn't know what death was, which I'm
Yeah.
glad she didn't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she does now. She probably knows way too much,
Yeah.
but that's probably for a problem I've got to deal with,
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit later. But um, yeah, that was it. It's Thursday night, and we really only had one decision to make, and that was when um, we had no pressure put on us to say, "All right, she's going to pass away." Well, you've got to do it now.
Yeah.
We could set a time and a date, which we did, and we chose Sunday.
Yeah.
Give us a few days. So my sister and partner and Maddie's sisters and brothers come and visited on the Friday. Our parents come back on the Saturday. On the Saturday morning, on the Saturday afternoon, we all went down to the gardens. We put her changed the ventilator to a portable ventilator, and we got to push her in a pram. So we took her in a
Yeah.
pram out of the ward, and we got some really nice family photos of us walking out into the
Yeah.
garden. Um, our parents got a hold. They all had cuddles.
Yeah.
My dad says it's one of the most beautiful things that he's ever done in his life.
Oh,
Was
absolutely,
just
man.
sitting there because they didn't expect it.
Yeah.
Um, my father-in-law thought that he'd done something wrong. One of the ventilators started beeping, and he thought that he'd done something. And
Oh
we're
no.
all having a laugh. We're all having a laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a beautiful autumn day,
Yeah.
mid-April. It was just a stunning day, and we got back up to the room that afternoon. It was about 5 o'clock, and my wife and I looked at each other and looked at Wren, and we knew that it was time.
Yeah.
Uh, Originally, it was going to be the Sunday, and we had a heartfelt, an organisation, a charity, booked to come and take some photos of her
Yeah.
last moments.
I saw you gave them a bit of a shout out on the Instagram as well. I actually went through
Yeah,
their stuff
yeah,
as well. They do some
it's
beautiful stuff,
phenomenal.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're a
really
phenomenal
amazing.
charity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the nurses tried to get in contact with them and bring that forward to the Saturday. We didn't get in contact, unfortunately, but that wasn't going to be enough for us to, want us to prolong our daughter's life just for our
Yeah.
benefit.
Yeah.
We thought, as her parents, the least we could do was let her go when she was ready, and we thought she was ready.
Yeah.
So we painted her nails again, which I haven't touched on yet. When she
Right.
was a couple of days old,
Yeah.
my wife painted her nails bright pink, and I still paint my nails pink now because of it. So I've got
Yeah.
bright pink
I
nails.
love it, man. I love it.
I don't know what you can.
Yeah, dude. It's so
Beautiful
good.
pink nails.
Yeah.
So that's 3 years now, 3 and a bit years. I've been painting my nails pink.
That's so cool, man.
Just to start a conversation, and even not to start it, just even yesterday I got a couple of days ago, coffee, and the bloke there goes, "Oh, I love your nails." I'm like, "Yeah, cheers, mate."
Yeah.
That's it. But I know I do it for Wren, and his nice comments without
Yeah.
knowing my daughter, Wren, he's acknowledged it. So, little things like that. So we painted her nails. We did some ink kits and prints and clay molding and that type of thing. And
Yeah.
the time come at about 7:30, we'd been singing to her, and we had her on our chest, and we just knew it was time. So we asked the nurse to remove the ventilation, which is a really hard thing to ask for. Not many of us have been around death in our lives,
Yeah.
especially the death of your child, and it was really scary, not knowing what was going to happen, or if it had hurt, or what's involved. But her death was beautiful.
Yeah.
We missed, and I've said it before, we missed out on her first breaths,
Yeah.
but we got to share her last as a family.
That's beautiful, man.
She managed to, she breathed, she took up and she started breathing on her own, and she did it for about 40 minutes.
That's incredible.
So we were told that she probably wouldn't, but she did. And she actually did long enough for Heartfelt to arrive, set up some cameras, and they managed to take photos for the last 10 minutes of her life.
Oh, man.
And
What a fast fighter, man.
Yeah. And the first 10 minutes after she passed away. So we got a bunch of photos. And if she's looking away from the camera, she's still with us. And if she's looking at the camera, she's passed away. We've only had to move her once when she passed away. And it was really beautiful. We could have been anywhere. We didn't feel like we're in a hospital room. It was beautiful, and it is hard to describe that. One of the most beautiful parts of her life was her death. Which it's hard to comprehend, but I feel that is the truth, and that's how I feel. We didn't get to control much of her life, and it's one of the things where we could be a parent.
There's also power in that, man.
It was beautiful. And then we kind of did things our way. My wife also worked at the Royal Children's Hospital back in her younger days. And she said, no, we're not going to send our daughter down to the morgue here. We're going to take her home. So we did. I'd taken the car seat out midway through the week because I knew that she wasn't going to make it. And I didn't want an extra car seat in the car. So we actually quickly put it back in. The doctors wrote us a note to say, to whom it may concern, the Mcconnell's daughter's passed away at the Royal Children's Hospital and they're taking her home. So they gave us this on a piece of paper, and we put our daughter into a car seat and we had her sitting on ice packs. And we drove home. So we drove 3 hours back home. We got home about 3 o'clock in the morning on the Sunday morning, and the funeral director come and picked her up about an hour later. So we sat down as a family. We had a cup of tea. We showed her our house. We took her around the house and showed her her house. I was lucky enough to get to sit in the back on the way home. So I got to hold her hand, and I held my other daughter's hand as well, which was really special. I think I only got 3 or 4 cuddles in my life, but I got to hold her hand. For a 3.5 hour trip, which I'll forever treasure. And then get home, and then I think that's when reality started to hit even more. When the funeral director come with the little bag.
Oh man!
And we had to say goodbye. Which
I'm sorry, dude.
Sorry.
Oh, fuck. I tried so hard, man.
And it was, you just, the 8 days, then you just like, whoa, what
the fuck just happened?
What the fuck's just happened? Well, I said, welcome to the rest of your life. You're in bed, and there's a blur. It's a big blur then. You kind of sit down and, you just think, what the hell's going on? You can't sleep. You're just holding each other, your wife tight, just trying to figure out what you got to do. But what you got to do is plan a funeral. Like it doesn't stop. Like it doesn't stop.
I was about to say, man, you didn't even get a fucking break.
No. But it's probably the scariest thing about it is my story is not unique either.
And I think that's sorry, man.
That's one of the scariest parts of this is like we can all share our stories. I can share my story on here with you, and we can talk for an hour and a half. But a person down the road can it can have an effect on people when you share it in a long form like this, But I only need to say 3 words, and they should be as powerful as my child died. That should have the same impact. You wish it upon no one. But it happens so often, and that's, I guess we touch on it soon, Red Nose, and that's why Red Nose is so important. Supporting families like mine. I know you've touched on the safe sleeping and SIDS prevention, because of what the work that Red Nose has done, SIDS has now decreased 80%. It may not get to 0 because there will always be factors that I guess lead to a child passing away. But, the safe sleep bundle, things like that, teaching parents how to look after their child when they get home has prevented so many more people from dealing with this type of grief, which is really
man.
important. The big one as well is stillbirth. The six children are stillborn a day in Australia, so that a couple of thousand a year. I think with increased, and not think, they know that with increased awareness and funding and campaigns, that number can be dropped by 20%.
Yeah.
So that's 1 in 6 can be prevented. That's a hell of a lot of babies can be
Absolutely,
saved,
man. Yeah.
just by increased funding, increased awareness. Things like billboards. There should be billboards advertising these things for parents. There's not yet. So I think society's got a long way to go when it comes to a lot of things, when it comes to bereavement around, the loss of a child or the loss of a pregnancy and things like that.
Yeah, and I think too, I think it's hard because when you're doing like long form stuff like this, it's easy to just follow those stories that are positive and happy and stuff like that. But I think, in my opinion, the conversations like now, like, God damn, man, I think this is like the 5th time I've fucking cried on this podcast, dude. But people are gonna think I'm just like a dude out here crying 24/7. But these are the conversations that are the most important, in my opinion, because they're the stories, like you said, these stories are not, they're not rare. Like, you know what I mean? Like you've said it yourself. This happens so often, and I feel I'm very lucky that I haven't experienced this, and I know a lot of people haven't experienced this, but that doesn't mean that so many dads or or just in mums or just parents in general experience this stuff. And we spoke before the podcast started how you've built a community, and we'll get into that soon, but even building a community of such a supportive base, you still said you have days where you feel like you're the only one that you feel so alone.
Yeah, you do. I battled over our daughter's 3rd birthday a couple of months ago. I felt horrible. I felt like I was in a real, not a dark place, like nothing silly.
Yeah.
But as I said, I've got a really good support system around me from my wife, our family, friends who, one works at Red Nose. I've got people all around me. I've got mates all around the world who have all been through this same thing, but even in the dark times, you still feel like you're the only one that's ever been through it. So your mind can play tricks on you as well. Even if you do have the best supports around you, you can still have really hard times and really bad days.
Have you sorry, feel free, obviously, if you don't want to answer, but have you done psychology or anything like that sort of stuff?
I was lucky enough, my wife and I got hooked into Red Nose Hospital to Home, which is like a support service for parents.
Amazing. That's amazing.
So we had a local support worker. We met over Zoom the first couple of times, and we never actually met in person. She hooked me into some podcasts to listen to. So that was fantastic. And she also linked me in with a male therapist who worked with Red Nose at the time.
Oh, that's amazing.
I started seeing him straight away.
Yeah,
I've since continued seeing him whenever I've needed to. And I've also had a psychologist as well to touch base with. So, I have had professional help as well. And there's plenty of places you can get professional help too. Red Nose also has like 24-hour hotlines for everyone. That can be for mums, dads, parents, grandparents, anyone that needs support. And they do have a dad's line as well. So if you do call up and you are a dad looking for support, you can ask, hey, do you mind? Is there a dad I can chat to? They'll get in contact with a bunch of dads who are on their team, and they'll make arrangements for a callback.
That's incredible. So,
which is really important. I know I'm in a work group with one of the dads who's on that phone line, and he's a fantastic person. Everyone is a fantastic person there. And I guess it's not just Red Nose. There's supports all over the place too.
Yeah, yeah. Because I
which are
think
really important.
that's a big thing with, I feel like it doesn't matter. Like it's just men in general. I don't know what it is. We try to do things alone all the time, and
Yeah.
it never works. So I think, having support networks like that, and the stuff like, and I'll go into it now, but like you started obviously Love from Dad, which is an incredible, and I genuinely say this, it's an incredible resource for dads who are going through this sort of stuff, and you've done an amazing job, man. I always have such admiration for people who turn so much pain into positive. And you've done that, and I think it's so brave of you to do that, man, because it puts you in a place of such vulnerability. Even coming on the podcast now and telling the story, and you've told this story multiple times on different platforms, and I know and I see it in you. Just well, I mean, it broke my freaking heart. I was trying. I tried so hard to hold it back, bro, because I didn't want you to see
I
me.
just want to try and break people,
Yeah, but I but like I see the way you tell the story. It doesn't matter how many times you tell that story. I think it's going to break your heart every single time, and you still do it to bring awareness to it. I think that is so incredibly brave, man.
Thank you very much.
No, and
It's always an honor to be able to share our story and our daughter's story because I do. I'm lucky. I enjoy telling a story,
yeah,
and I grieve by telling a story.
yeah,
Not everyone does that though.
yeah,
You
absolutely.
you don't have to tell a story.
Yeah,
But I did find that one thing that helped me substantially was hearing other dads share their story. And
yeah,
I heard Paul speak on the Red Nose Fathers of Lost series. So
yeah,
I'd heard him speak before, and I'd heard other dads speak before, but I didn't hear many. And I really struggled to find other dads who had shared their story. So it's the reason why I wanted to do something um,
yeah.
for Wren and for us and for me
Mm.
as well. I wanted to find a purpose, and I didn't know if it was going to be starting a podcast. I didn't know if it'd be. I had a bunch of different ideas, and then
You'd be
one
really
day,
good at it, man. If honestly, just coming from someone who does it, you'd be fantastic at it, bro.
thank you. I might, you never know what's down the track.
Oh,
Um,
mate, do it, do it.
so
Yep.
I'll I have little ideas. I have a heap of ideas. It's just finding time to do them all,
Oh,
I guess.
mate, that's the biggest thing, man. You like,
I mean, that's why we're catching
oh,
up. It's 8 o'clock at night now
oh,
because,
mate, and
you know,
still in the other room, I could still hear like screaming because my
yeah,
partner's trying to put the girls to bed,
yeah,
and oh, mate, there's no time. There's never
yeah,
any time. It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So I wanted to find a way to honor our daughter, but then help others as well. And
Mm.
my expertise was dads. I
Yeah,
spent a lot of time looking for books, and I bought some books, and I'd even read my wife's books that had a, a chapter that was written by a dad.
mm.
So she'd have a bunch of books, and I'd grab the book and I'd have a look, and in that book would be a chapter that the dad had told his bit of a story. And so you get one out of 15,
Mm.
15 chapters in a book, and I'd go and read one
Yeah,
because
yep,
and then I found out that there's actually some books for dads as well, that
yeah,
have been written, but they're just hard to find because they're not advertised anywhere.
mm.
Um, so I've got a list of books that I ordered and read, and then I found podcasts, and then I wanted to share my story. So I thought, well, let's build a website. Just full disclosure, don't know how to build a website,
Mate, you've done a
but
fantastic
but
job. I mean, it
but
looks great.
I I just I guess I bluffed my way through it. It is a simple
You've done an amazing job, man. Honestly,
it's
it's so good.
it's a simple website for us dads.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like click on this to go to buy, not buy through me, but buy through take you direct to their website to buy their stuff, take you direct to the podcast. And I thought, well, let's launch this. I think I launched it and I had 4 pages.
yeah,
Was an intro.
yeah,
Why? Well, thanks for finding this website. I built it to try and help you. Um, I think podcasts and books, and I guess the main one was what I called unspoken journeys
yeah.
because
I was
that's
just
what.
about to mention it here because I actually went through a lot of them before, and mate, they were a beautiful. They prepared me because I was already half tearing up as I was reading them, but just beautiful stories, man. Like,
I
and
was
yeah,
I was really lucky to get some help.
Yeah.
from some mums in our lost community.
Mm.
Megan Donaldson's one. She wrote a book, and another one was another lady's called Emily Judd, who's got a companion called A Little Help from Jack and A Little Help from Remy. So they're two mums that actually I went to them and said, "Hey, I want to start this website and I want to find some dads to share their stories. Do you think you guys or you girls could ask around your networks?" So before I launched the website, I actually had 3 dads that wanted to share their story.
Yeah.
So instead of just launching a website with just me, about me, with my
Yeah.
story, I could have another 2 or 3 stories uploaded as well. And I think that was really important to start that ball rolling, because that's what I wanted the website to be for, is a place for dads to share their stories, whether it be loss or, fertility journeys and that type of thing.
Mm.
So the help from these ladies that I got was really good in launching that. I'm not sure if they'll tune in, but if so,
Yeah.
thanks,
Yeah.
ladies.
Oh no,
Um,
that's awesome, man. That's so
so
great.
yeah, and it's just grown from there.
Yeah.
I've got links to all the different charities, which does need an update around Australia. Local ones. I'm really lucky that I have got links as well to international charities too.
Yeah, that's really
I'm
cool.
I'm not sure if you've seen it. I'm they call it a podvocate
Yeah,
for
okay. Yeah.
which is an ambassador for a podcast in the United Kingdom.
Oh,
So
amazing, man. That's so cool.
I'd been on their podcast before. That was one of the first ones I did a couple of years back,
Yeah, yeah.
and now I'm there, like, linked to in Australia. So we
That's
throw
awesome.
stuff around. So they're I'm mates with them guys now.
That's great, man. I
Um,
think you summed it up really well in on the website around like how people have found this community and navigating it says you said navigating like life in this like that you've cruelly found yourself in.
and that's what
And
it is. Yeah.
yeah, and I think although, it is what it is, but I think the idea of the community brings a lot of positivity to it because I
Yep.
think as humans we're sort of built around community and no one understands your pain like somebody who's gone through the same thing. And I think
Yep.
you'll never be able to talk to someone who, like, even me, man, when you're talking to me, like, it's heartbreaking, but I'm still only imagining it. Like, when you're talking to people who have gone through it, that must be so, it must feel so
It is.
much better. It's like light in a
It's
dark room, you know?
interesting because you just talk to someone. It's just you both acknowledge that and
Yeah.
then you just start chatting. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
your friendship's been made because you've both been through something unimaginable.
Yeah.
Yet then you can get into other stuff, like
Yeah.
sport or running, or and your conversation's not always around grief and loss, but you connect through that, and you've got an understanding that what each other's, not exactly what you never know exactly what people have been through,
Yeah.
but having been through something maybe similar, then you respect each other for that, and then you build a friendship that's, like, it's really weird. You're making.
Yeah.
I'm mid to late 30s now, and I've never made this many friends in my life. You
Yeah. Yeah.
don't make friends when you get older. You lose them.
It's
Like, and
crazy, man. I have a couple friends who live in northern New South Wales, and there's 3 of them, and 2 of them are actually married. But their friendship was formed in high school because they called themselves the Dead Dad Crew because all
yep.
3 of them had lost their dads at a young age, and they're inseparable, man. Like they're even now, like years on, they're still like because that bond is so strong. Like that,
There's
like yeah.
You'll love this. There's an American charity called the Sad Dads Club,
Yeah, yeah,
and they're probably the biggest, most well known. I'd say they are probably the biggest and most well known in the world.
yeah, yeah,
3 dads,
yeah,
all been through child loss.
yeah,
Went to the pub one night, and they all cried together in the
yeah,
pub. And then they went home and told their wives about it. And then they went and caught up again and did the same thing.
yeah,
And then went home, and one of the guys' wives said, "Oh, why don't you call yourself the Sad Dads Club?" And
yeah,
they did,
yeah,
and that's grown from the Sad Dads. So same type of thing. It's
yeah.
gone from 3 blokes now, and they're a really big charity in the US.
Oh,
Doing
that's
some
awesome,
really cool
man.
things.
And
So
like, mate, that community, like you're getting dads at probably, and I would say arguably, but I'd say close to the darkest time in their lives. So,
yeah,
mate, you like the work you do, you're probably saving so many men from the worst situation, if you get what I mean, through the community that you've built, man.
thank you.
Yeah.
I don't think we can't help people because I don't think you can ever help someone that's been through something like this, but you can support and you can
Mm,
find supports. And that's what I think our community is all about
yeah.
is, and what I like to do, I never tell someone what they should do or how they should do something. I think you've got to figure that out yourself. And what works
Yeah.
for me might not work for the next person. But I think it's really important that if you can get everything and put it in one place, and that's what I've tried to do with this website,
Mm,
that then if the dads that need it can find it, they might be able to find something and they might want to join our WhatsApp group.
mm,
They might not. They might want to jump into a support group
mm.
or, and that's what's really important. All our needs are different, like everything. None of us are the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just finding what works. And I do hope that the work I do through Love from Dad and, through with Red Nose, I help on
Mm,
a support, it's a work group, try to
yeah.
increase the resources I've got for dads as well.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of us, all dads that, we caught up on a Friday night because that's what we do.
Yeah.
Your life changes significantly. Like
Yeah.
I never would have thought that a Friday night would have been taken up by a work group discussing child loss and how to better look after
Yeah.
people. But I guess that's what life is now.
Mm,
And I am okay with it.
yeah.
I have come to terms with what I've been through.
Mm,
Um, I know that our daughter's died. Um, I've found a way to keep going. I've found a way to, I guess, create a positive for our
mm,
family.
yeah.
Um, and I do. I think I'm really lucky because I do get to chat to awesome people. I'm chatting to you. I get to share our daughter.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I have been able to meet some truly phenomenal people
Yeah.
through what I've done. Um, but the main thing is I want to be able to help the dads out there to
Yeah,
find the
man.
supports that they need.
Oh, dude, you're doing a great job, man. Yeah, honestly, you're killing it. And I think I think one thing too, sort of moving down and I guess, moving onwards as well. Your son, your son is I guess what we call like a rainbow baby,
Yes.
a child after loss.
Yep.
Um, and I think that your story with that is incredible too, because I can imagine, and once again, I say I can imagine, I could only imagine, um, that conversation around having another one and trying again. I, and I don't know if you've spoken about it before, but I can imagine just as the like child loss is so hard, I can imagine that would have been incredibly hard too. It's not as if you just go, oh, we'll just have another one. You feel like, well, I'll let you talk, but I can imagine that decision was fairly tough as well.
It was.
Mm.
I think my wife and I both knew um, straight away that I can remember the moment after our daughter died. I changed nappy
Mm.
and then I picked her up and I just cuddled her on my chest. You know what you do with the baby? We
Yeah.
just rock her back and forward. And it
Mm.
was at that moment that I knew that I needed to be able to take a baby home.
Mm.
Um, I just needed it.
Mm.
So for us, it involves some discussions pretty soon with our local hospital. We had a
Mm.
really good obstetrician and a really good team at the hospital that asked the right. We asked questions and they went and looked for research and um, they virtually gave us the green light to try again straight away.
Yeah.
But I would say to anyone listening, don't go on my advice. Talk to your team at the hospital. There can be any number of reasons why you might have to wait longer or you shouldn't or whatever. But we were lucky enough to be given the go ahead to try again. But it's an awful thing. It's an awkward thing to start trying again when you're still in the midst of Like
Grief, man. Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
doing it for fun.
No,
Like
no.
like I guess a lot of the time you're not either when you're trying for kids.
Yeah, yeah.
But we received some assistance from like a fertility specialist, and I, it would have been probably 4 or 5 months later we did fall pregnant,
Oh wow,
and
yeah.
that was with our little boy Noah, and that was probably the one of the hardest 9 months that
I
you do, and
mate, I
the
can't
entire
even.
time was
Yeah,
just
man.
full of anxiety. Um, because
Mm.
when the 1 in 1,000 happens, that 1 in 1,000 all of a sudden becomes
All
the
you think about.
99%.
Yeah,
That
exactly,
always
man.
the 100. If a 1 in 1,000 happened to me, well, obviously it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
So that was one of the times that I did go and speak to a psychologist.
Oh, absolutely,
Um,
man.
so had a
Yeah.
few, and I've got a fair bit of trauma related to birth as well.
Mm,
What I've had to sit through and listen to and that type of thing. So a
mm.
lot around the birth for me is the trauma that I'm sitting in the hallway. So a lot
Mm.
of the discussions that I had with the psychologist was around that. We were really lucky. We had a fantastic team this time at the hospital,
Yeah.
same nurses, a lot of same in the room. Um, but I had a walkthrough beforehand. We had a plan A and a plan B for birth and plan
Yeah.
C. So we virtually had everything figured out, like how it was going to happen.
Yeah.
We just needed to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, we did get there. He was born at 37 weeks
Yeah.
and
That's
0 days
that's
because
awesome, man.
we needed him out as
Yeah, I
parents.
was gonna say,
Yep.
I bet you the relief of hearing the cry would
Yeah.
have been a sound that'll probably live in your head forever. Hey.
Yeah, it was beautiful, but at the same time, then it gets tricky too because you you quickly realize what you've missed out on and
Yeah.
what So there's
Get a wave of it again, man.
juggling
Yeah.
emotions. It's always them emotions have faded. Now that he's two because
Mm.
Wren lived until she was 8 days old. So a week later, he'd overtaken Wren.
Yeah. Oh, I
And
can only imagine those early days, man. Like, I
yeah,
mean, I just remember those early days too. Just every little cry and everything you were just on, and I can only imagine what you were like and
yeah.
what your
I
partner
think
was
it's
like as well.
because Wren's birth and her passing. I don't think there was any issues with like we couldn't have prevented it if that makes
Mm.
sense.
Yeah.
And if I guess because she passed away when she was 8 days old, um, it's like if you haven't lost. How do I explain it? She hadn't passed away in her sleep or through SIDS. So that doesn't go to my mind as something that I worry about. Does
Yeah,
that make
yeah,
sense?
yeah. I know. I get 100.
Um,
percent I get you.
and
Yeah,
that's how it is. Like
yeah,
you only know what you've been through, and for me, it's losing a daughter when she's 8 days old
yeah, yeah,
for a cause. So the SIDS thing, I was lucky enough to avoid. But in saying that, I'd have a fan going.
yeah, yeah,
Wouldn't go sleep. Um, Make sure they're wrapped properly, not too hot. Follow all the instructions that's
yeah,
on the Red
yeah,
Nose website to make sure that you're not in the category of
yeah. You
may
decrease
have
those
yeah,
chances as much as you can.
yeah. And it's hard. You see Red Nose does some incredible work advertising safe sleeping, and then you get people saying, "Oh, I've had 4 kids and
Oh,
they've all
mate,
co-slept," and but
man, it's
it's just
so frustrating when you see. I don't, I guess people I had a conversation as well with a guy called Brett, and Brett he's this guy on Instagram called Dad's Got Bars, and he does a lot of raps around, and they're usually in like bringing awareness to things like postnatal depression, things like that, and one of the things that just blows me away, man, is the comments of people and just the narrow mindedness to think it never happened to me, so it doesn't happen. You're just
yeah,
like, I can't fathom how you can have that little empathy.
yeah,
It just doesn't compute in my brain to
yeah,
go, oh, so it didn't happen to you, so obviously it doesn't. You're just like, what are you even
yeah.
thinking? you know?
Yeah, and unfortunately, social media gives a platform for everyone
Oh,
to
I
spew
know.
their views, and
Oh,
that's
trust me, I cop
really
it on the
hard.
daily, man. I cop it
Yeah,
on the daily.
yeah. So, and it is hard for any, when Red Nose is trying to do this incredible work, but then,
Mm.
you know, old mate from down the road who's had a number of kids and hasn't lost one to SIDS. Well, she's
Mm.
obviously knows best, doesn't she?
Yeah.
It's just hypocrites, unfortunately.
Yeah, man. I
Undermine the hard work done by people who know and have researched, and
exactly.
but
And I can never fathom people who are against it. Like if you're not for it, then whatever. But why get mad when they're doing something that's positive? Like,
yeah,
I don't get why people get mad at people doing things like a you know what I mean? It just doesn't make
yeah,
sense to me. And
yeah,
but you, like you said, man, that's social media, the world that we live in,
yeah,
and things like that. And it's trying to sieve your way through, like, you know, all that information and stuff. But I think an organization like Red Nose is, I've seen it firsthand. I was an ambassador for them last year, and I see the work that they do, and it's incredible. It's incredible in so many different, areas of parenting as well.
yeah, yeah. They do. They look after. For me, they looked after me and my family through support.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't even realize they had all the support systems till you
Yep,
mentioned that. So
yep.
that's
So
amazing.
that they've got. So I see a different. We all see different sides to Red Nose. There's the safe
Yeah.
sleeping side, which is more community based. But then there's support for all the parents who've been through any loss.
Mm.
And then you've got all the states have got different state branches that have little supports going on all the time.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where you are, you can get support from Red Nose. In saying that, there is a bunch of smaller charities set up all around Australia now,
Mm.
who are also there to work in conjunction with each other, through support groups and awareness campaigns and things like that. Red Nose being the big one has got the biggest reach, and that's what
Yeah.
a lot of people know. And that's why Red Nose Day is really important.
Yeah.
It's Red
Absolutely.
Nose's biggest day. Big fundraiser, so they can keep supporting parents and they can keep researching, and keep saving little lives, which is
The
why
the
we're
best
here.
part about it, man. The best part
Yeah,
about it. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, mate, that's incredible. Man, I really appreciate you coming on and telling your story, Matt, because as I said, I think it's really important. I think parenting itself is so up and down, and you can't always have the positives. I think the tough conversations like this one are the conversations that need to be had at times. They're not pretty, and you'll probably notice my face while I was crying is not going to be pretty. But that's parenting, and I think
yeah,
parenting, even through child loss, you're still a parent.
yeah,
No matter what, you're still a parent, and you'll always be a parent, and you're going through something that is very rare, but also very common, as you said. And there's
yeah,
people out there that are wanting to support. And I think someone like you, man, I said it before, and I'm being 100% genuine when I say people like you are just the most amazing people, turning such negative circumstances into something that is going to help so many people. And I'm sure, the resources that Love from Dad has as well is probably you're saving more lives than you think in the area of dads grieving. And I even saw like you posting around like hospitals having like really good bereavement places
yeah.
now, because I think hospitals tend to be quite sterile and almost like, I guess,
There's
just
a big push. There's a
yeah.
big push. So I was lucky enough to be involved in a lot of fundraising in our hometown, and my wife was the instigator behind it. Managed to fundraise and set up a bereavement room in our local hospital. It was about
Yeah,
$120,000 raised, an architecturally designed room.
it's beautiful in
Um,
there, man. I saw
it's
one of the posts.
phenomenal.
It
Yeah,
looks great, man. It
yeah.
really is.
All hospitals should have them.
Yeah,
It's just something that it shouldn't be. Hospitals need them,
yeah.
especially for, like, I don't want to take away from other people passing away. Um, if you've got a baby and they've passed away, you don't get any more. You've had minimal days as is. These type of rooms with a cuddle cot can give you 3 or 4 or 5 days with your baby before you have to say goodbye. Because because that's all you get. You know, I
Yeah.
struggle. I struggle now because a lot of my photos are on an old phone.
Mm.
So I jump on a phone now, and I'm on my phone. I'm like, oh, that's my old phone. I've got my daughter's photos on.
Yeah.
So, and them photos that we've got are the only ones, and
Yeah.
you get them from the room that you're in. You know, that
Yeah.
bereavement suite.
Yeah.
So our hospital's really lucky that we have got one. I know there are some others that have been built. I think Frankston's got one
Yeah.
in Melbourne, and I
That's
do. Other
awesome.
hospitals should have one. All hospitals need them.
Yeah.
Hopefully, in time, that'll be something that can happen.
I think it will, man. That's great, Matt. No, I like I said, I appreciate it, man. I was as silly as it sounds, I was looking forward to this conversation because I know it was going to be a really powerful one, and it definitely was, man. And I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day, and you know we both are huge supporters of Red Nose, but obviously, where can people find? I'll link all your stuff in the show notes and everything like that. But where can people sort of find you and the work you do as well?
So if you jump into Google, go lovefromdad.com.au. That's
Yep.
the website. And social media wise on Instagram, love.from.dad. You'll find a pink logo that says love from dad, and that's me hiding behind that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and I'll be tagging everything every time we do. I'll post something up, and I'll tag you in it, and I'll
Yeah,
obviously do some promo for you as well, man, because I love what you do. It's
yeah.
genuinely
And
amazing, and it's yeah,
I think we are a big community out here.
yeah,
We're a strong community, but we might be a little bit hard to find sometimes. So, like I've got a WhatsApp group that's going, and we've got some phenomenal dads in there.
yeah.
Just incredible. One of the dads has actually been nominated for Australian Father of the Year.
That's
Like,
incredible.
and he's like a bereaved dad in our WhatsApp group. He's a phenomenal dad.
Mate, I
Um,
would, if you ever want a platform for these guys, man, I would be absolutely stoked if you ever
yeah,
wanted to set me up with them, man. I would love
yeah,
to bring more
absolutely.
light to what you're doing,
Yeah.
brother.
We're not massive, but we're a really strong community, and we all look after each other.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing is just knowing that someone's got your back, and that's what we do.
That's incredible, man. Oh, I really appreciate you, Matt. That's great. And I'll be, like I said, I'll be promoting as much as I can all the stuff that you do, man. But thank you so much for coming on, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's a
No
pleasure.
dramas, man. No dramas, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. A little bit of a tough one to go through there, but I hope, you know, it brings light to situations that are very tough, and just know that as you're walking around today, you don't know what someone's going through. So it's important, bit of empathy. Have a deep breath. Be patient. That guy that just cut you off in traffic, you don't know what he's going through. So maybe have a deep breath. But yeah, you know what it is, guys. Cool Dad Collective podcast. If you're loving the content, go over to @CoolDadCollective _ on Instagram, or Cool Dad Collective on TikTok. And yeah, guys, take care of yourselves, hug your kids, give your partner a big old kiss today, and yeah, guys, take care of yourselves. Don't go anywhere, Matt. I'll still talk to you once the recording stops. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Peace.